Reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Emphatic pronouns are also called intensive pronouns. Most of the students get confused while identifying reflexive and emphatic pronouns in sentences. To understand the difference between these two types of pronouns, let's look at their definition. Pronouns are called reflexive pronouns when the action of the verb turns back on the subject, whereas emphatic pronouns are compound pronouns which are used for emphasis. Now, what we have understood out of this? Reflexive word has come from reflection. So, when an action reflects back on the subject or doer of the action, it is called reflexive pronoun. But when the pronoun is used to emphasize the noun or subject of the sentence, it is called emphatic pronoun. There is one more point which we need to understand about reflexive and emphatic pronouns. According to the second rule, we need to remember that reflexive pronouns are usually objects of the verb, whereas emphatic pronouns are not objects of the verb. Let's understand this with the help of examples. When I say, I fed myself the grapes, my action of feeding is reflecting back on the subject, myself, and that is why it is a reflexive pronoun. When I am using myself in this sentence, it is playing the role of reflexive pronoun. And according to the second rule, I is the subject here and myself is playing the role of an object in this sentence. But when I say I will build the house myself, my subject is I, my verb is build, and my object is house. And the action of building is not reflecting on the doer or the subject. Rather, I am simply emphasizing my subject I here by using the word or pronoun myself. Similarly, when we say she cut herself, here herself is the reflexive pronoun because the action cut reflects back on the subject, whereas in the sentence she herself cut the cake. Herself is an emphatic pronoun because it is emphasizing the subject, that is the girl, she. I hope you have understood the difference between reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Now, let's talk about some common errors in using reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Most of the students, they write words like ourself, themself, their selves, his self. These are wrong words, or you can say they are not real words. They do not exist in English. I have already written all the reflexive and emphatic pronouns here. The correct emphatic and reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. But many people still use these forms, which is wrong uses of reflexive pronouns in sentences. The second mistake is with the usage of the pronoun myself. Now take a look at these two sentences. Sarah and myself will come late today. For more information, please feel free to write to myself anytime. Even the native speakers do this mistake in their sentences, but both of these sentences are wrong. Can you say why they are wrong? If you look at them carefully, the subject and the object are not same. When I said she cut herself, here the subject and object are same. But in these two sentences, it's not the case. Here you need to remove the pronoun myself and replace it with the subject or object pronoun. So, you will be saying Sarah and I will come late today. And in the next sentence, we will be saying, for more information, please feel free to write to me anytime. Because in the first sentence, it is playing the role of a subject, and that is why we will be using the subjective case I. And in the second sentence, we require objective case me to write or speak our sentence correctly. So always remember the rules for using reflexive pronouns. We use reflexive pronouns when the subject and object are same in a sentence, whereas we use emphatic pronouns when we emphasize on the subject or doer of the action. So, no more errors with reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Keep watching and keep learning.